So in this video we're looking to expand brackets that will have a single factor in front. So just for our little starter, we're going to check that we're happy with adding and multiplying different terms together. So 3a plus 5a we could simplify to 8a because they're both in terms of a. b times b will give us b squared. So 5h times h, because just between this 5 and the h here we've got the invisible multiplication sign, that's actually 5 times h, so altogether that's 5h squared. In this example, 3 times 2 is 6, and we can't do anything in terms of multiplying the x and the y, so we'll just write them in that algebraic format, x, y, side by side. In this one, 2 times 3 gives us 6, and we know from the second example that m times m should give us m squared. And finally, in the final example here, minus times a plus gives us a minus, so minus 4 times 3 is 12, and then we've got hx, changing the order so that they're all alphabetical. So this is us expanding brackets. I'm going to show you two different methods for each example. The first one is the sort of more traditional method, and the second one involves using a multiplication grid, so it gives us a full understanding of what we're actually doing, multiplying things out together. So method number one simply says that whatever's in front of the bracket, we need to times everything inside the bracket by it. So in that first hop across, 4x times x, that's going to give me 4x squared. And in the second hop, 4x times 5, that's going to give me positive 20x. I'm going to write it as plus 20x. And that will be our final answer. In method 2, we have to set up the grid first. So 4x is what we're multiplying by, and we're multiplying that by x plus 5. So we set our grid up with a multiplication, we're timesing by 4x, and we have x plus 5 in the brackets. And then all we do is just apply that multiplication. So x times 4x gives me 4x squared, and then 5 times 4x gives me 20x. So I still get exactly the same answer using both methods, just slightly different ways of doing it. Okay, second example. So same thing again, multiplying everything inside the bracket by what is outside. So my first thing to do, 3c times 2c, which is 6c squared. Second part, 3c times 5, which is plus 15c. And then finally 3c times minus d, which will be minus 3cd. For the grid this time, you can see that it's slightly wider because we're timesing by more inside the bracket. So we're timesing by 3c, and we'll have 2c, 5 and minus d across the top. And then the same multiplication applies here. So 2c times 3c, 6c squared, 5 times 3c, 15c. And then minus d times plus 3cd will give us minus 3cd. And then we'd write out our answer underneath. Okay, so have a little go at these. They're multiple choice. Here's the first question, and in between each one just pause and check it, and then press play again to check your answer. Be aware on this example that when we do the second part of the multiplication, it's a minus times a minus. So we get minus 4f to begin with. From the second part, that's where we get the plus 12 from. Okay, so now that we've had a quick look at the skills, we're just going to see some slightly harder examples now. So in our first one here, we're going to be doing two sets of brackets separately. So first of all, I'm doing x times x, which is x squared, and then I need to do x times 3, which is 3x. So that's the first set of brackets expanded. Now I'm doing the second set of brackets, so I'm doing 3 times x, which is plus 3x, and then I'm going to do 3 times minus 4, which is minus 12. And once I've done that, I can now look to see if I've got any similar terms. So x squared, I've only got the one of those, but 3x and 3x can be combined, as they're both x, to form 6x, and minus 12 is its only sole number on the end, so we'll finish there. With method 2, because there's 2 sets of brackets, that means that we'll need 2 grids, so 2 separate multiplication grids. So we're going to have x and x plus 3, and the second one will have 3 and x minus 4. So we'll quickly do that multiplication. And then we're looking to identify the like terms. So I've just got this x squared, but I've got this in terms of x and this in terms of x, so they can be totaled together, and then the minus 12 will be by itself. So our final answer will be, as the previous one, x squared plus 6x minus 12. Okay. So very similar again here, but you might have noticed there's a minus sign in the middle. So I'm going to do 4m times m, which is 4m squared, and then we're going to do 4m multiplied by 3, which gives us 12m. Then for the second bracket, I've got to do minus 2 times m, which is minus 2m, and for the final bracket, I'm going to need to do minus 2 times plus 1, which is minus 2. And now I can collect my like terms together, so only the one term in m squared, but 12m take away 2m gives me 10m and a minus 2 on the end. Again, because we've got 2 brackets for method 2, we're going to have 2 grids. So I've got 4m and m plus 3, and this time we're timesing by minus 2 and m plus 1. So we'll fill in everything inside the grid. 4m squared, 12m, minus 2m and minus 2, and then we're looking for our like terms as we did last time. So I've got just the one term in m squared, but I've got 12m and minus 2m, and then I've got the minus 2. So that's just going to help me with that simplification again. So I've got 4m squared plus 10m, so it's the 12 minus the 2, and minus 2. And that is all the main skills for expanding brackets.